Welcome to Monday Night Brownsville Talk with your Viro Cardenas Place 3 on the ballot.
Ramirez retired.
Lovely guest with me out the opposite way. This guy right here, Bachelor number 1, all the way from Mission, Texas, or Sherryland, or they can't get it right. We've got down beneath me, Jim, not Tim, or Tim, not Jim.
Jim, not Jim.
And then from his 3-story $1 million home on Fruitdale, we've got Carlos Elizondo. And we've got a lot to cover tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Joe Rodriguez, I love you, especially Hannah Theater.
Yeah.
Elia Salinas, good to see you on. We'll get started with a couple of things here tonight, guys. If y'all have how was y'all's day?
Who you asking?
Anyone? Frankie, how was your day today, Frankie?
It was a busy day. Third week, last and final week of early voting. But who was really thinking about early voting today, right? We have the trial of the century going on in our backyard. So I'm very anxious for today's show. I know a lot of people will be tuning in today. 2 gentlemen on here were present live and in color. So I'm pretty excited about today's show, guys.
Jim, not Tim, I heard you were sitting fairly close for about 6 hours.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, it was hard on my, on my buttocks, but I survived.
Good.
I actually went up to the bailiff and I asked him, "Hey, do you have any padding so we can use? Because it's killing me." But all in jest, it was a wonderful day. It was heartbreaking because of everything that transpired. And Carlos, right? It was.
Well, we'll get to that here in just a minute. Are you having problems there in that mansion? I'm sure you have
having problems there. But it was a sad day. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. Today's just the first day, day 1. And todavía nos falta bastante. It's just a lot that needs to be covered. And it started today. And we had the opening statement from both attorneys. And they had Rodriguez all day long.
Rodrigo Moreno.
Rodrigo Moreno, you're right.
Rodrigo Moreno. But we'll get into that here.
The real team, so that was probably the time where he fell asleep.
So, you were in the courthouse.
And Osmo is out in a confined room because he can't hear any of this.
Well, yeah, no, I've taken over. We're in an undisclosed place downtown. That's why normally I would say the Kraken, but I'm not allowed in there while running for school board. And please don't vote for Argelia Miller. Just kidding, Miss Miller. Love you.
Miller.
So, let's just get to the meat and the potatoes tonight. We could cover a lot of other stuff. There was over 31,000 people that voted as of yesterday, just in Brownsville, which is a good turnout. But guys, we need y'all to come out. We need you to keep voting. If you truly want change in Brownsville, it's got to happen November 3rd. If you want more of the same, we're going to have more days like we're happening today. Gentlemen, Frankie, did you drive around anywhere today to see how the polls looked?
No, I wasn't able to, and for fear of my safety and that of our volunteers, we have decided to change up the game plan. We have done a great job these first 2 weeks of PR, promoting, getting our name out there, making sure that the community is well aware of the best candidates available for each position. So no, I was not out there. I will not be out there for this upcoming week. We will be focusing on making sure our friends and family have voted and making calls out, guys, making calls out to make sure that everybody that hasn't yet voted, that they make sure to do so. If you don't have a ride, if you need a ride, I'm sorry, if you need a ride, reach out to any one of us. We'll be more than glad to assist you in any way possible.
Yes, we will be your Ubers for this week all the way to November 3rd. Carlos, I know you were tied up all day, but how was yesterday? Did you drive around anywhere to check to see how the polls looked? Anyone?
Actually, what we did is we did the parade yesterday. We drove around 4 polling places, and we went all the way to Southmost. Even though, unfortunately, our Dallas Cowboys lost yesterday, it was a close game. We still went out there and supported the Southmost area. So we drove around the polling places. We had about 30 or 40 cars, I think, Frankie, right, Tim? And we made sure that everybody saw us running around. Pictures were taken, stuff like that. We went around all the polling places, which was really nice. Something different. But we had a lot of sport, and we were very happy. A lot of families came over. Even people were jumping into the we got to call it the Erasmo Frankie, right? Elizondo train. And so they followed us throughout Brownsville, which is really nice. We had a lot of fun.
Good. We're the type of friend community.
Gotta play a tune.
Yeah, that reach out to everyone. We're not going to be afraid to talk to anyone or answer any questions. So earlier today, or a while ago, say 6 o'clock news, I saw that the first person on the hot seat was Rodrigo Moreno, and they discussed that he was testifying for 6 hours. Tim, what did you and Carlos see there while he was testifying?
Well, we saw his candor, his honesty, and he answered all the questions that the government asked, and started off with his personal life, and ended off with all the dealings with Dr. Atkinson and other vendors.
Yeah,
And it was pretty sad because of all the backroom deals. It was just it's a jaw dropper, and it just saddens one because you've always since I'm from the classroom, I taught 35 years. Always taught my students when we just hope for the best, and our leaders are doing the best that they can for us, for our kids. But in this situation, total opposite.
Carlos, on the news, they discussed that he's been taping since 2014. Did that come up in the trial?
Yeah, actually, it went up to 2013.
No.
So I guess he was in the middle of something that he didn't want to be in, and so he reached out to the authorities, and they started a takedown. And so it's been almost 7 years now of audio and video recordings of many different people. I'm gonna have to call you Erasmo 2.0, but what has happened is that there's going to be a continuation of his testimony, because it was only the tip of the iceberg today. There was a lot of information that was given out that was surprising to us all. I mean, I think it was even surprising to the defendant, which was Sylvia Atkinson. I guess she didn't know how much she was involved until they started showing her on videotapes and audio tapes, recordings and texts of all the stuff that she's been doing. Not only here in BISD, but it goes back all the way to Rio Hondo and maybe other places that we don't know yet. So we can't actually say how deep this goes, or how many layers this onion is going to be peeled. But I'm telling you what, the U.S. attorneys are doing a very good job in disseminating the information and making sure that the jury sees all aspects of what and how far this corruption goes. And how many people are involved. There's individuals that are even mentioned, and I don't know if I should say the names, but I could tell you, one of them was put out there was Amini Peña, whoever that is, and there was another one. I'll only say the initials, Drew Brown, and then I'll say the other initials, Prissy Roca Tipton. But those are the individuals that were put out there. We don't know how far the corruption goes, but those were individuals that were mentioned in the testimony today. And then also it even goes into TSC. It goes into and says, and it specifically states that the president of TSC was involved in something. We don't know what that is yet, but hopefully we'll find out tomorrow. And we might be able to bring that out tomorrow and tell you a little bit of what's going on. But you know what? This is already testimony that's been given to the media. The media was there. There were several media, individuals there. And I'm sure they don't want to say everything because it might play a role in what happens tomorrow in testimony and cases and stuff like that. So I'm real leery about saying exactly what was mentioned and how far and who was involved. But I'm telling you what, there's many, many more individuals that are going to be mentioned because they alluded to it. And I don't want to take anything away from the U.S. attorney because the guy was doing an excellent job, especially the way he was laying it out. He was laying out the testimony, the amount of individuals that were in place with this corruption and this setting up contracts. Not only in Brownsville, but in Rio Hondo.
I don't interrupt you, but how many people were in the courtroom?
There was not that many people in the courtroom in the audience side of it because the coronavirus. So actually, they separated us with numbers, and they have a list of only so many people can go in, right? So I think there was probably maybe 10, maybe 12 of us, maybe 10.
Kind of. The one left, and there was 11.
That's it.
Out of the bench, they only allowed 2 people per bench. So I think there was only 6 benches. So you look at 2 people per bench. So maybe about they might have been able to fit a couple more, but there was some family members. There was actually one female that was there that was related to Dr. Atkinson. I won't tell you the initials or anything like that because to save her.
Yeah, Frank. Being that I go way back with Carlos and Jim not Tim or Tim not Jim, what are your thoughts looking from the outside in, coming onto the school board on November?
Guys, this is something that, and I'm not being biased, but this is something that Erasmo Castro has been saying for far too long. We have seen how time and time again he was oppressed. Many things were created against him because he was being vocal about all these backroom deals that has been going on. And we see the retaliation against him, who's a board member. And we also hear about the retaliation that is going on within BISD. And that's very scary, guys. 3 of us on here are vying for a position to serve our community for the Brownsville Independent School Board as a trustee. And we have heard, guys, time and time again how these individuals use this position for their own enrichment, for their own political gain. And this is something that that now we have confirmation of. Erasmo Castro has been talking about this for far too long. Way back when nobody would give him a chance, he said, Prisi, he said Drew Brown were complicit in Sylvia's dealings. And for whatever reason, they always said you're full of it. You do not know what you're talking about. So Vito, looking outside in, I'm glad this is happening. We needed this cleansing. We needed this to occur because the federal government, guys, the federal government is making an example of Sylvia Atkinson because we all know this has been going on for years and years and years. Now I have I'm a big real conspiracy theorist. I think, okay, are they doing this because she's a female? Being a female, she wanted to do what the men were doing, and they said they clipped her. Or was it just that she was just so deep into it that they finally had to make an example out of her? But looking outside, guys, I'm glad this is happening. This is something that we need at BISD because having a budget of $600 million or $550 million, there's a lot of temptation. There's a lot of greed. And I'm glad because we are promising our community, if and when we're elected, we are promising our community a seat at the table. Carlos, Vito, Tim, now I want to hear Miss Prisi Tipton talk about transparency. That was her phrase. Oh, transparency. Where is she now?
Frankie,
how is she feeling? So that's something to watch, to look forward to, guys.
Frankie, the transparency is coming out.
While y'all were in the courthouse, did the judge disclose a gag order or anything for y'all not to say anything outside the courthouse?
No, they didn't. What they did mention is that the jury will not be able to talk about the case with themselves or anybody outside. But as public, just like the media went out and mentioned what's going on, That's why I don't want to say too much, because I don't want to go out there and say if there is any type of angle that the United States Attorney is going to do. But I'm telling you what, Frankie, Tim, Vito, the U.S. Attorney is dead on, man.
Yeah.
You're talking about years and years of evidence, but they're not gonna. It's not hearsay. They're actually putting out audio and video recordings, and they are linking it to current board members, current TSC members, the mayor. The mayor was mentioned by the news today. That was a hit in the stomach to me, because I didn't even know about it till it came out. I was like, what in the world is going on?
Shocker.
That tells you how big this web is. The web is huge, and they are putting dots, and they are crossing their T's and dotting their I's. The U.S. Attorney is doing an excellent job in being able to put the case out and sending it out and explaining exactly how things are attached, how they were, how they coincide, how they are plugged together, what is going on, who is this person. I mean, it's just, you just stay there and you're just like in awe of all the corruption that was going on, and how these individuals from all different areas, you're not talking about just Brownsville, you're talking about TSC, you're talking about the city. They mentioned the mayor, they mentioned, Rio Hondo, and that's just today. We had to stop, or they had to stop today, because there's so much there, and there's so many more individuals that are complicit to this web with Sylvia Atkinson and what she has done. She has destroyed, or tried to destroy almost. We're only going to save it November the 3rd when we get elected, and try and bounce back from the destruction that this individual has done at no cost to anybody other than herself, her own gratification. And when you sit there and you see this, and you can say, you know what, the individual that's up there testifying against these, it's probably, if you didn't know this, you're like, come on, I can't believe that crap. There's no way that happened. There's no way that what he's saying is true. And then you look over at the screen.
Wow.
It's on video. It's on audio. And you're like, wow.
Hey, guy.
Exactly what we saw today. But you would be floored by what the evidence shows. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at it, and you're seeing people getting money, putting it in their pocket, and saying they're going to do this and that because they have the majority of the board to be able to do it. That was like, boom. This is what Frankie, what Erasmo, what we've been talking on Brownsville Talk for months. What's been going on? And people are like, nah, it can't happen. It can't happen. Go and look at it.
It's happening.
Jim not Tim, or Tim not Jim.
It happened year after year after year from 2013. And actually the prosecutor, Mr. Young, awesome storyteller. And I say that with the way he did everything. He added everything detailed, step by step by step, no confusion at all. It was beautifully written. I mean, it was done just awesome. And he asked the questions to Mr. Rodrigo Moreno in a way that you say, okay, that's clear. If you don't get it, you just don't get it. But it's clear. It's easy to understand for the jurors, which is the most important, because they're the ones that are going to be making the final judgment. And we saw this all day long, and we wait to see the defense. But with the defense opening statement from 0 to 10, I would rate it a 3. And with the prosecutor, man, he kicked it out. He hit it out of the ballpark.
What was the defense, guys? What was the defense's argument or opening statements?
I'll tell you what. If I have to say, it was a little bit of everything. They went through the synopsis of everything, but at the end is what really got me, is that the defense was stating that Sylvia Atkinson was a consultant to all these wrongdoings.
Yeah,
and then okay, that's a great defense. I'm not going to say it's not. It is a great defense until the U.S. attorney brings in the evidence and starts showing you that there really was no consulting going on. It was all about how much am I going to be able to put in my pocket and my other majority board members. That is what really floors. It floored me. I was like, wow. You know, they say that Drew Brown is, you know, the fighter for all these employees for BIZ, but you know what? She's disappointed everybody. She's disappointed her own family.
Hey,
And today,
I'm sorry.
we got a little bit of a glimpse of why she's such a big disappointment.
But when you say, Carlos, that there was consulting, but in an unethical way.
Well,
but
No.
whether it's consulting or not, guys, it's how can you take money while you're voting on a certain issue? Whether because that's Charlie Atkinson's excuse. Oh, you stupid idiot! She was a consultant. She was a consultant. Well, if she was a consultant, why didn't she advise the board? There's a form that you have to fill out, and then you're actually making decisions on that. That's against the law. Very quickly, guys. What was her demeanor? What did she look like? What was her posture? If you could explain to the community a little bit about that.
Let me tell you what it was very difficult to see her face, you know, because you know how she has a poker face, but even more so is that everybody was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So you really couldn't tell. But her body, the way she was hunched, she was flicking her foot, leg, she was jittery, she was trying to reach over to her counsel, you know, so you can see this that, you know, every time something was going against her, she was trying to figure out a way out. There was no way out in the way the U.S. Attorney and the FBI stipulated exactly what happened. And they went year by year, line by line, audio by audio, video by video. There's so much evidence against her only because it's her recordings. It's
Wow.
She's the actor in her own play. And you see this on a screen and you're like, I cannot believe the amount of evidence that she has created against her. So it's going to be a very difficult task for her attorneys. She's got 3.
well, I mean,
very expensive attorneys. Very good attorneys. Very good attorneys.
Yeah.
Very expensive ones too.
By saying that, I mean, they've been recording since 2013.
Correct.
How many of our friends did you see in those videos that, I mean, don't mention their names, but I'm pretty sure there's, I mean,
Mention them.
Brownsville's not big enough to hide secrets, and we all know. You know, when the Limas case was going on, we all knew about it. Corrado Cantu back in the day, también. Come on. You know, they think that we're blind to what's happening in Brownsville, and we all know the hustle and bustle that happens, you know, especially behind the scenes. Tim, not Jim, or Jim, not Tim. I only say that because he has a twin brother and I can't tell them apart. What do you feel? Do you feel that there may be some empty seats coming back on November 3rd from the school district board with the talk that's going on in the in the courthouse?
Well, you know, people are waking up and there's a revolution. And I think that none of the board members that are running are going to get reelected. I think it's going to be the guys that you guys that are running. It just cannot be people like Daniela Lopez Valdez Atkinson, Denise Garza Atkinson, Minerva Peña Atkinson, Philip Cowan Atkinson, and who's the other one? Something Atkinson. They can't be reelected. Just can't. We have where the revolution is real, it's loud, and it's moving. And as of Sunday, 27,028 people have voted. Not including today, but as of yesterday. That's a lot of people.
It is.
And we implore everyone to go out there, teachers, people from the community, business owners, everybody. The vote of one, but you start adding them up, and it's a lot of votes, a lot of people, a lot of voices, and that's what we're hearing right now. A lot of voices. It's that revolution, like I said.
So Sam wants to know, so what do you think the defense will use to counter the DA? It's not really the DA.
We'll see tomorrow.
I'll be honest with you. Go back to that question.
Yeah.
Sam, I think with the evidence, especially because it's audio and video, it's going to be very difficult for any counter unless they plead the insanity. And there is no insanity in this case, to be honest with you, because everything was meticulously made. It's like a plan. It's like she had a plan to be able to put people in place, especially, they go back that she put, and she collected money. And she says it in these recordings that she put in Drew Brown and Percy Tipton in a position where they collected money. And if you go back to their finance report, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to be put there, only to be able to do what she's charged for now. So eventually, it's fair to say that Drew Brown and Percy are complicit to what she's done. Will she throw them under the bus? If she's facing 45 years, she might be able to. So if anybody needs to be worried, is Drew Brown and Percy. Either they come out and say, you know what, yeah, I was complicit. I'm sorry. I apologize. I can, the mercy of the court. But she mentioned them today. Their names were mentioned. And that's why I'm telling you guys, I wouldn't say that if I didn't hear their names. Their names were mentioned. Drew Brown and Percy.
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
Tim, Vito. Who was Baltasar endorsing? Who was Drew Brown endorsing?
Oh.
Who was Sylvia Atkinson endorsing? Community, is this not a coincidence? Why do they want our opponents to sit on that board? Because their opponents will not do an external audit. Because our opponents will not uncover all their backroom dealings. So that's very important for our community to understand. There's a reason why Drew Brown, Baltasar Salazar, is pushing so hard for these people and sending mass texts and posting on Facebook. It's not a coincidence, guys.
No, not at all.
It came out today, Frankie.
Yeah, Drew Brown.
She has not. This is not the first election that she does this. They're going back to the previous election before us.
Yep.
Where Sylvia Atkinson collected monies for her slate, and that's the word they used, the slate of Sylvia Atkinson. And they just didn't mention those people yet, but they did mention Drew Brown and Percy Tipton. They also did mention the president of TSC, whoever that is. They also mentioned a Mini Peña, whoever that is.
I think we need Minerva.
I don't know. I heard Mini, and that was evidence on the road, and they said that a Mini Peña would not follow the command of Sylvia the first time, but she pressed enough to where she did eventually bend over, and she did follow what she said. What that is yet, we don't know. That will come out maybe tomorrow or the day after. But these names were brought up. There's also board members that know what they've done, and they might be called in, But I'm going to tell you guys, this didn't start in BIZ. There is a web going out to Rio Hondo, where there was a Jaime Escobedo who was brought up that was complicit in dealings with Rio Hondo ISD and some tablets.
Yep.
It also comes out, says that she went out there and she said that she would vote against, or she would make every effort she could to make sure that a Ben Guerrero wouldn't get a contract. That way this Jaime Escobedo would.
Wow.
So there's other people out there that got hurt by the dealings of Sylvia Atkinson. And how she manipulated not only this board, but the Rio Hondo board as well.
Maybe Ben didn't give her enough money. I don't know.
It says there that he had a really good company, and he had some things that he could offer the district, but because Sylvia would discredit him, so that way someone else would come in.
And also, speaking of Jaime Escobedo, he just recently gave a donation of $1,000 to Daniela Valdez. Now, what does that tell you? These individuals, Daniela Valdez does not need the $1,000. She has money. a mountain of money, more than me, that's for sure.
Frankie,
Why does she have a need to take $1,000 from an individual with a shady past, such as Escobedo?
did she put that in her finance report?
Yes, sir. Well, it's kind of subliminally posted.
I'm glad you said that, because that was what they were talking about today, is that we're using different ways of being able to give monies through these corporations, but not actually the candidate take it. But so what they would do is, like, how else would you know if this company gave the money to this individual if it wasn't directly given to him? So that's testimony today that was put out there, saying what they would do is they would hand it over to Rodrigo Moreno. Rodrigo Moreno would cash it, give it to Sylvia Atkinson. Sylvia Atkinson would turn around and give it to a board member. So they followed. The FBI was able to follow the monies. I mean, they're that's what they do. I mean, you don't mess around with those individuals. So they're able to follow this money, which is what you're just saying right now. I'm glad you said it. I didn't know that was the case. So Jaime Escobedo gives the money to someone else. That someone else gives it to the candidate. That candidate puts it in their pocket.
It's like this, guys. Like my grandma used to say, "Cuando obras mal, mal te va." And in that case, but it's all about OPM, other people's money. She's going to use other people's money, and now she's beholden to them. But she ain't going to get it because Hidalgo's going to get it. And so it's crazy. The thing doing, right?
I wish more people would attend, Frankie.
Yeah.
Viro.
How would one go by trying to get into the court?
All you have to do is make sure you don't wear a smartwatch, because those individuals at the security is by far, man, they're good at what they do. If you take my watch, that's it. You got to take it back to the truck.
Yeah.
You can take a pen and a paper, but no watches, no phones, electronic device that can record, none of that. They're going to take it off, make you go back outside. But you got to get there early enough, because you got to make sure that you pass the temperature scanner. And then other than that, you can walk in and go up there and just respect the court. So
with Sylvia attending the last few meetings, what are y'all's take on it? Was she supposed to be there? Do you think it's detrimental to BISD? She should stay away.
I think her being elected was detrimental to BISD. I mean, you can just ask every individual that works for BISD except her family members, and even maybe they'll agree, because there was only one person there supporting her today. Yeah. So I think everybody understands that the vote for Sylvia Atkinson, Drew Brown, Percy Roca-Tipton was a mistake.
Vito, based on your question, what do I feel about her being at the board meeting? I think it's a disgrace. I think it's a disgrace because going back, look what happened to Erasmo Castro for a DWI. And again, I'm not condoning what that man did. He himself would say that, hey, he slipped up, but it was a DWI. And Sylvia Atkinson stole from our children, stole money that could have gone to our children. And you want to know the response from some administrators, some teachers? Oh, I'm glad she's back. I'm glad to see her. That is how much fear this woman instilled in our community, within the school district. I was appalled, Vito. I was like, why is nobody doing anything? And you know what, Vito? More for the board members, because you know what? The board members have a lot to say, guys. We all know that. If one board member stood up and said, you know what? I'm not in agreement with this. This woman, and again, I'm a big believer in the Constitution. You're innocent until proven guilty. But hey, you have a very serious charge. You might want to step away, focus on your personal matters before you come on here and make rulings and make decisions. And again, she's making decisions, multi-million-dollar decisions, guys. And what were the allegations? Thousands of dollars, and yet they're allowing her to vote and appear. I'm baffled.
And real quick, Frankie, she should have been censored. That's where Minerva Peña, as the board president, and the other individuals should have censored her so she wouldn't be able to do what she did. Not only that, let me tell you one thing. What you just mentioned, it just triggered something. There was also some evidence to say that there was a judge involved with Sylvia Atkinson. Who that judge is beyond me. It's only led to believe that someone very close to her. So there was a judge out there that was involved in all these shenanigans. We'll find out tomorrow. We'll find out, see who it is, if they bring her up or not. You know, but there's a lot more other people that are connected, and we just don't know who they are yet. Again, that's where a true leader, Frankie, should have came up. Even if it's one person against the majority, should have said, you know what, we should censor this individual because of the problem that she's facing right now. Just what they did to Erasmo.
And,
you know,
and that's
they
how
them. What they try to do to me, you know.
Yep.
And yet this goes on to even a higher degree of corruption, of intimidation, of bullying, of bribery, and yet they applauded her every time she came in. You had directors that applauded her when she walked into the board meeting.
Philip was hugging her.
Who are our attorneys, Ruben? It's Noe Garza, Dale Roberts. Who's the third, guys?
I don't know who that guy is, man. I don't know who he is. I'll be honest with you, but that guy is always on.
Dale Robertson.
That's one of them. But there was another one. There was three. There was three of them.
We're trying to figure it out, Carlos and I, but we just couldn't.
I don't know.
Going back to the revolution, you know, we have AOB that's in the forefront and helping just turn things around at BISD, and whether it's going out there and promoting for people to vote, or giving a vote of no confidence, filing the grievance, that class action grievance. And we gotta hand it to AOBE and the leaderships and the members that they are doing something that Pat James from BEST and Albert Alegria from TVA won't do. It's a cry. It's just a shame that they're still defending the board members right now, regardless of. It doesn't matter who they have supporting them. It can be convicted. Not a problem. Not right. Not right at all.
You know, and then you're talking about the censorship. You know, I shouldn't say if, when we get elected, I think our stance as a board member and making sure that everything is transparent is we should go out there and we should censure Drew Brown and Prissy until it's done. Because as a new board, we should give that to the community and show them what true transparency is.
Well, yeah, we'd have to. You can't work with people that have had their hands in the cookie jar and work with. Why carry on the problems that should have been dealt with in the last 4 years and not bring it up like Baldassar? You know, at the big week now, they're trying to kick him out, but no one's going to kick him out. He's put so much money into everyone's campaign that he's bought it. He's bought his seat. And it's unfortunate that we can't do business as usual for BISD when people are putting money in their pockets and they have to stay quiet. You know, poor Lauda finally stood up and tried to do something, but the majority just swept her under the rug.
Well, not only that, the majority, Vito,
sided with Balta.
Yeah, the police officer cut her at the knees.
Yeah.
Eddie Garcia, the guy who has a convicted pedophile as his campaign advisor, cut Laura Perez Reyes at the knees when she stood up to do the right thing. This is the kind of board that you're getting. This is the kind of board that we're fighting to make sure that they don't come back. This is the kind of board that Sylvia Atkinson controlled. If you were to be there at the hearing, and you would see the amount of evidence stacked against her and her majority, you would be disgusted, because everything that she did was for personal gain. And every time she gained, the district lost.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like I've always said, you know, we in years past we've elected the most prominent or pillars of the community, our most professional, our most educated, and look where it's gotten us. Look where we're at. Dealing with people that put money in their pockets that should have never. You have people that took an oath to do what's right and didn't do it. Frankie, as you're, like I said, I mean, you've been dealing with this with Erasmo, uh, with this all summer long during the pandemic with Erasmo. Speaking of what's going on.
Yeah, that's correct, Vito. And again, it finally comes into fruition. And one thing that I want to stress is just look at who's supporting these individuals. Baltasar Salazar, we mentioned previously, Drew Brown. But not just that, guys. Look at the teacher organizations. Look at BEST. Look at TVEA. They had close associations with Sylvia Atkinson, and I'm sure they still do to this day. They kiss her ring, and it is no surprise, guys. It is no surprise that they are endorsing candidates that were put in that position by Sylvia Atkinson. It is not a surprise. And again, time and time again, the beauty of life is that within time, we finally get to see people's real colors. And I honestly feel that justice is coming for BISD. Judgment is here for Sylvia Atkinson, as much as Charlie Atkinson hates to deny it. Hey, Charlie. So we have to be real here. Again, look at the candidates that TVEA has. Look at the candidates that BEST has. They're all Sylvia's puppets. It is not a coincidence.
Not when it comes down to millions of dollars, you know, somebody's got to protect it and protect their interest. And that's the thing. It's unfortunate where we're at today with everything that's happening.
Let me tell you guys, it's very disheartening to see what we saw today. Tim, I'm sure you agree.
Absolutely.
To see this, to see a board member that has stated that their best interest is the children and the staff, and yet sit there in the audience and look up at a screen and see a board member specifically state how much she wants to pass an agenda item and then get paid. And she grabs it and she laughs and she sticks it in her purse, smiling. Un fuerte abrazo. Fuerte abrazo.
Keep the faith.
Fuerte abrazo to the undercover agent. And then has pictures of that same fuerte abrazo at an ATM, sticking in all of that money into the ATM. And yet, she still stands there and applauds her two board members and the rest of the people that are running and says, please vote for them. You have the same individual who was supported by TVA and BEST who turn around and endorse her candidates to represent those individuals that got ripped off.
You know what, Carlos? I hope Patrick Hammis and Albert Aguirre go tomorrow so they can see the second part of the taking the money. Because when we saw that video, Vito and Frankie, when we saw that video, I'm telling you, man, I felt like crying. My heart broke. I mean, you hear the stories, but when you see it, when you see a board member taking the money, I said, no, bud, I don't need to count it. I put it in the purse. That just broke my heart. It broke my heart because that money is from the kids. That money is for our staff. That money belongs to BISD. And when they followed her, and like Carlos said, they had pictures. She deposited ATM, her account. It's so sad. So sad. And like, I don't know if I can say this, Rodrigo's, he was hoping that she wouldn't do it. It takes two to tango. She could have said, no, I'm not going to take it. No. Even then, at the very end, Rodrigo saying, I hope she doesn't do it.
Did he say that, Tim, or why are you saying that? Did he say that?
Yes. Yeah, he said it. He was saying, he was rooting for her. He said, I hope she doesn't take it. And she took it.
And asked for more.
Pin drop. Everybody was looking. Right, Carlos?
24/7. I'm gonna be your board member that gets everything done at the school district.
So, guys, who do you think is paying for the expense of our attorneys?
We did.
Well, obviously, but I mean,
We did.
this isn't a Cameron County case. We're in the
Remember, how much does she get paid? You're talking about 3 attorneys, $250 a piece per hour.
Yeah.
We were there 8 hours a day, plus all the time before that, plus all the time after that. You're looking at 300,000 or 400,000 easy. Believe me, we're paying for it.
I wish the board members were there to see that. Board members sitting on BSD board. I hope they show up tomorrow so they can see. Well, no, they can't go.
Yeah, they can. That's why I'm sitting here in this uncomfortable chair because it's molded to someone that's bigger than me. I'm gonna have to wear some cushioning.
Hey, Tammy, we didn't bring up the mayor. It was brought up by Sylvia.
Well, yeah, and
It
it was also brought up on Channel 5 News that the mayor may have some involvement in this.
Yeah, Tammy, it was heartbreaking to see that our current mayor, who everybody voted for, is involved with the shenanigans that Sylvia Atkinson did. Taking money from our kids, not only at BIZ, but at TSC. With the current president of TSC. That was brought up today.
Could you go into detail, Carlos?
What's that?
Could you go into detail?
Right?
Sure, of course. There was contracts that were done, and the specific language specifically states in a text and an audio recording that the language was done, and they said, "Do it like the one I wrote for TSC president."
Yep.
Whoever that TSC president is, I don't know who it is. Maybe
Adela Garza.
I don't know, but that was the exact wording on the recording from Sylvia Atkinson. And guess who gave her the job there?
Adela Garza.
Who hired Sylvia Atkinson at TSC? I don't know. It could have been the president of the
Adela Garza.
TSC. Not only that, Frankie, but she gives the undercover agent her business card. Guess what that says? Director of Instructional Programs, Dr. Sylvia Atkinson, Texas Southmost College.
Don't forget the other card, bro.
BASD, everybody knows that one.
School board. School board member. Está pesado.
So maybe it'll come out. I don't know.
I don't know if they're tied into this corruption. Well, by association.
Yes, Kat is asking, and she wants to know if Alberto Alegria or Patrick Hames are tied up in all this corruption.
You know, I don't know. They're tied up directly, but they are supportive of these individuals who continue to steal from the district. And when they continue to steal from the district, they continue to steal from their members. So are they complicit? By all means, they're in favor of these individuals. Not only that, they endorse the people who are going to replace them.
Yeah.
What they think. So yeah, they're part of it.
Hey, Carlos, Viro. Well, I heard, and I'm leaving you out, Frankie. Carlos, Viro, I heard that BEST organization, which really stands for Backstabbing Every Single Teacher, was harassing Frankie and making some false allegations after Frankie was vetted for their forum, and Frankie came out in their forum.
Yeah.
Frankie's a good guy, and now he's attacking Frankie. Why is this guy from Backstabbing Every Single Teacher organization attacking Frankie? It's terrible. It's pitiful.
I don't believe it plays me.
He's taking that money. You people in that group, you keep on paying because it's a waste of money. You're making Patrick richer. Just
Hey,
like that.
not only that, guys, but Patrick Hamas, or Hames, how Vito calls him, Mr. Hames. Patrick Hames gave each of the best candidates $500.
That's it.
From his foundation. Look at the campaign finance reports. He gave $500. Now, Best, the organization, I want you to make sure, follow the money. You think he's doing it out of his good heart, or you think he's going to get those $2,000 from the Best organization? Come on, guys. Y'all need to open up your eyes. I was threatened by a president of a teachers union. Who does that? Who does that? Look, I'm all in favor of being supportive of your candidate, endorsing your candidate, maybe holding up a sign, rooting, sending mass texts, mass emails. But once you stoop to that level and you call me a sexual offender when Denise Garza and Eddie Garcia have a known registered sex offender in their camp, and your answer to that is, well, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Really? This is a person that used to be a teacher, if I'm not mistaken, in charge of a union. Now he's saying that associating with a known registered sex offender is up to anybody's opinion? Wow.
Well, I heard a lot of opinions about Patrick Hamas, and that those opinions is loud shouting, he's pathetic. Their opinions. And they all have their own opinions.
Frankie, there's only one union. The other ones are associations. The only union is AOB. The other ones are associations. They're clubs. They're clubs where these people pay into it so these people can have a ranch in Mexico, a pool in their backyard, a house they call an office. The other guy wants to retire and go on vacation with his wife, who he treats bad. So they're not really unions, they're associations because they're not even, registered with the state.
What a day that y'all have had. Frank and I have been on the sideline. We did 2 weeks of campaigning, and rarely did we see our opponents out there, except Argelia Miller. Don't vote for her, please. She says that Erasmo's fat and ugly.
Vote for Ms. Miller.
If you back it up one about the field trips, she's so right. Because when I was teaching at Cummings, we had to raise our own money. But good thing the zoo was there, or the park, and the police station just down the street. That's all we couldn't afford taking them out, because or else you'd have to raise money to take your kids to different places.
And Tim, let me jump in there real quick. I just want to let you guys know. Remember, this is not the first movie that happened at BISD. This is the first movie they got caught with, right? Remember, they had another movie prior to this one, which was about the chess and stuff like that. Does anybody know where those funds went? Because remember, Drew Brown was in charge of that. Drew Brown was the one that was leading the march on that one. What happened to those funds that were collected by BISD for that movie that was done? Great movie, guys. I'm not putting it down. I thought it was a great movie, but where did those funds go? I mean, that's the audit that we need to create. This is why they don't want us to come back or to be there. They don't want us to be there so we can find out what happened to the monies that were generated by that movie that was done at BIZ. Where are the monies from the foundation? Where are the monies from the golf tournament? Drew Brown was in charge of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're losing money, and they cut the funding to the fine arts. So
right, the fine arts don't want to be built because you know what? You have Cowan saying that this is not the time nor the place, and we're not going to fund it. Minerva Peña says, "Oh no, there were gyms, there were mini gyms." That's what we were talking about when we said performing arts center. Drew Brown says that's not something we need to be doing right now. And Prissy, but she's too dumb to say anything. She's just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I guess whatever you say." But you know what? The Performing Arts Center was promised to the community. They were taxed to build this. We are going to build it when we get there. But for them to say, no, we never said that, BS. It's on a recording. For Minerva Peña to say, Lord Jesus, praise the Lord, amen. We were not going to say that. Yes, you did. I was there. That's what we were promised. That's why we voted in. Cowan specifically states in the meeting that we had that this is the reason the monies were going to be for the PAC, for this and this and this. And guess what? Now he's flip-flopping. Now he doesn't want to admit to the community, the people who are actually going to go out and vote for him, to say, we didn't say that. We said mini gyms. The mini gyms are for him. That's what we meant. That's a lie. Don't vote for these individuals. They're a bunch of liars. And now you have a thief that's going out after, guess what? Her own friends who she got elected. Drew Brown, your name was mentioned today.
Absolutely.
Prissy, your name was mentioned today too. Yeah. The president of TSC, your name was mentioned today too. Yeah. Mayor Trey Mendez, your name was mentioned today too.
And
you have, I'm sorry. Pardon?
Hey, Tim and Carlos, will you be sitting in all week?
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
So just to let everybody know that I will be here all week hosting the night.
And Frankie.
6 up the valley, eating his cheese. So you get to all week long with these bozos.
I can't wait to see who are the rest of the witnesses that are coming in. Well, we know a few that are coming in.
And let me just say
their names to give them the ability to be able to sleep tonight. I wouldn't want them to be targeted like we were, where they were trying to run us over, like Otis Powers' brother the other day.
Oh yeah, Daryl.
So for their safety, I'd rather not say their names tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, you have Drew spewing out hatred, and then you have Patrick Hammonds and Albert Legria. They talk about bully free. I don't think so. Those guys are a pair of bullies. Bullying Frankie, bullying other people, bullying. Here you have Patrick Hammonds telling his membership, just follow in line, get in line and pay attention and don't complain. Really? You gonna tell your members? Oh no, they have to be a bunch of burros to go ahead and do that.
Well, with the help of the community, all that can change come November. You have to get out and vote, and the days of bullies and retaliation are going to stop. I mean, we're the most approachable people out there. That we say hello to everyone. And I had this incident yesterday at HEB where a person came up to me that works for the school district. Says, it's going to be so great because I can talk to you. You'll listen, of course. That's what I'm there for. That's what you're there for.
Maybe that's 3 votes for you.
Hey, I'll take those 3 votes any day.
Your mom, me, and that person you just mentioned.
Yes, there you go. 3 votes.
I voted for him. I voted for Viro.
Boy.
Oh, and Tim voted for.
It really has to change, guys. I'm telling you what, by being there today, by seeing all the stuff that's going on, by seeing the stuff that's been going on since 2013, guys, it is by far the most distraught I've been in a long time. I mean, the last time I was like that was 3 years ago when I got fired. But to see the amount of corruption, the amount of injustice that our teachers and our staff, not only here in BIZ, but you're talking about Rio Hondo and other places that haven't come out yet. But my priority is BIZ. That's why I'm fighting. To see what has happened, to sit there and listen and see with your own eyes and hear what this person has done to our district, and to say she still has her friends on the board and she still has the people that she has endorsed, like Denise Garza, like Eddie Garcia, like Daniela Lopez, like Philip Cowan, to be able to say she wants to continue her majority and our people still go out and vote for these individuals, knowing what she has done.
Pitiful.
Is disappointing. Right? Disappointing, guys.
Draining.
See that they went out. This majority here that you have right now, this current board has taken away the step increases.
Yep.
from our employees.
Mhm.
Our individuals, our teachers, our employees that have been there 20, 30 years got a slap in the face when little Eddie, Minerva Peña, Philip Cowan, Drew Brown, Prissy Tipton, and Laura went over there and voted to take away their step increases.
Pitiful.
They took them away from you guys. The only way you can get them back is if you elect this majority board.
Yeah.
Not the one that's there now. They took it away from you guys. They took it away from you guys. The most valuable thing that you guys have had is your insurance and your salaries. And they took that away from you. That's why how you need to go vote. We have individuals over there like Berta Guerra goes out there. We need to vote for, she doesn't even work for the district. We need to vote for Minerva Peña because she has done nothing. She's taken away. Philip Cowan, I'm going to continue because I'm BISD proud. Proud of what?
Of what?
Taking away?
Exactly.
Taking away from your employees.
I mean, he's my opponent, and he's garnished $50,000 in donations for a position that pays nothing.
Hey, Vito, and 40,000 of that, guess who it went to?
Who? That's how
Big
they
Gabe.
Oh,
Big Gabe. The government's main witness against Sylvia Atkinson.
Yeah.
Mr. Cowan, do you think you were being recorded? Maybe.
Yeah. What can we do, guys? What can we do other than get elected and do what's right? Our moral obligation is to do what's right and just. And that's why we're all here. We're not here to fill our pockets. That's already been done.
Vito, every individual in BIZ right now, and I'm talking about board members, I'm not talking about staff, has lost their moral compass.
Yeah.
Has lost their moral compass. And we are seeing that. Tim, we saw that today.
Yep.
By the head of this majority board. 7-0 was voted. 7-0 was voted on that movie deal that Sylvia Atkinson got busted for. 7-0. Not 4, not 5, not 6, 7-0, guys. That tells you that everybody there right now needs to go.
Hey, Carlos, you forgot about
Sylvia Atkinson, Maria. Sylvia Atkinson, Maria.
Sylvia Atkinson, yeah. You forgot about the teachers on the compensation plan. Let's not forget the administrators and the counselors and the librarians.
And diagnosticians and nurses and stuff like that. We can keep on going. We've said this many, many times, and this is why it really upsets me is that even though that we put out the information out there and we tell them the way it is, you know what happens? They still vote for them. They still vote for these guys. You have Tito Mata, pobrecito, you know, he doesn't fit anywhere, and he's endorsing these idiots. Yet he's already retired. He doesn't care what happens to the staff that's there. He's going out there and I'm gonna be 80 number one. Bro, he has a convicted pedophile in his campaign. How are you gonna support someone like that? And they said, no, it's fabricated. Well, then someone must have put on the Eddie Garcia shirt and gave it to him and have him stand right next to little Eddie and take pictures with him at every event.
I love you too, Linda.
She's lying.
And there's five votes.
Five.
Absolutely 5 votes.
What time did you
Five.
get there in the morning to the courthouse?
We got there early thinking there was going to be a lot of people, you know, just to make sure that we got a seat because of COVID. So there's only so many seats that they have available. But actually, you know what? Actually, there was enough people to where it was comfortable. There was, I think, 12 of us in the audience. And of course, we had you separated. But you had 3 or 4 of the media there.
What time did the trial start at? 9?
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, sharp.
I have my people here talking to me. Or wait, I don't have people.
Those are those people. You're in his chair.
And like I said, it's very uncomfortable. Lord. See, there we go. Lorenzo, even his family voted for him.
Lorenzo, Chicago Bears in the house.
Lorenzo, that's he belongs to a big family. Frankie, your
5:30, 8 o'clock. Sergio?
I'm sorry?
your
By
thoughts
8 o'clock.
tonight?
I'm going to court.
What's come about?
We'll be
What's
in court by 8.
Hey, but you know what? If anybody wants to invite me to coffee before, I'll greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I'm putting him at Osmo now.
Woo!
Frankie,
What was your question, Vito? I'm sorry?
your thoughts of what you're listening to and what Tim and Carlos have shared with our community?
You know, it's very, very, it's very satisfying because this is something that Erasmo Castro has been saying for the longest time. People, for whatever reason, have been stating that he's full of it, that he is only angry, and he is wrong. But then again, it's always the last person who laughs at the end who laughs the best. And I'm glad that our community is seeing what this woman has done to our district. She has placed her family members who did not earn their positions in key spots throughout the district. She wanted her a stranglehold on each an individual important department and wanted her hands on the money. Sylvia, give back the money. That has been our famous phrase for the longest time. Our community has gravitated to that because that is the calling of our community, to give back the money. When we go in there, we will have an external audit on every single department, and we will open up and show the community all the mismanagement that has been done. Why do you think Drew Brown, Baltasar Salazar, who is openly endorsing Denise Garza, Daniela Lopez, Eddie Garcia, Minerva Peña, why do you think they're so adamant of making sure that their puppets get in there? Because they don't want us to uncover the truth. They do not want us to reveal what Sylvia Atkinson has been hiding for all these years. And I don't think it's just 10,000, guys. I think it's a lot more money than that. I think 10,000 was a conservative number that they could prove. But again, they're going back since 2014. So we'll just wait and see. But I'm glad this is happening at this time of day. And guys, I do not think it's a coincidence that it's happening right before early voting. Many people were mentioned, and I'm sure some candidates will be mentioned as well. The federal government, I have faith in the federal government because they know what they're doing. They might work at a snail's pace, but when they got you, they got you.
Oh, yeah. It's a stranglehold. Well, that's an exciting evening for Monday night. I think we covered more news than the news our Channel 23 or ABC or CBS have. And this is week. The good thing is, we don't have to put up with Erasmo all week. You know what? 2 weeks of Erasmo, Jelly.
Off another vote, dude.
Show me the money. Bueno.
Hey, you guys need to bag the desk.
No. Thank God, this is more controlled. It's a lot easier. Jim, not Tim, or Tim, not Jim, because they're twins. Carlos in his 3-story mansion on Fruitdale, and Frankie.
Hey, to answer this question, the trial is scheduled for 2 weeks, but the way the evidence has been presented and how much evidence there is, I don't know. Hopefully, Judge said today maybe November the 3rd, and he said November the 3rd is going to be the day of election. So who knows?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, y'all were in there 8 hours?
Evidence.
Yeah.
You're talking about many, many more back shadow deals,
Back room.
Hey guys, where did it leave off? Just so our community could get a little insight into where you anticipate the trial starting tomorrow. Do you remember how
Okay.
they convened? What
It
was the
just-
topic? What was the discussion?
It left off with the jaw dropping of Atkinson getting the $4,000, right, Carlos? Around there,
Yeah.
and the pictures and the ATM deposits.
So I think that led to the TSC president deal, and then the Prissy and Drew Brown, and then it stopped. And so now the same witness is going to come in tomorrow. Plus, they have 3 other witnesses that are going to come in. So they do 4 at a time. So one of them took 1 day, and he's coming in again tomorrow to continue. And then you have 3 more. So those are the U.S. witnesses.
I mean, the evidence is overwhelming if it's been since 2013.
Yeah, Rodriguez is the judge.
It's a lot.
He's a great judge. Very, very smart. Very keen in what he needs to do. The way he's making the case progress is really, really nice. So that way the jury gets the gist of the information. So he's making sure that it progresses. You know, there's just so much information. There's so many players. You know, you just heard today. You have yes, anybody can go. You have the mayor Trey Mendez involved. You have Drew Brown, Prissy. You have Jaime Escobedo. You have the president of TSC. You have people from Rio Hondo. So I mean, you have so many people involved.
Hey, Carlos,
The ability to be able to get them all together.
don't forget Joe Salazar, brother.
If it's being videoed, there could be surprises of people that are on videos that we know. I mean, we're talking about 7 years.
Let me tell you what I did see some people that I know. I just think that because tomorrow there's going to be more evidence. So I don't want to say any names. Yeah. There was people that we know that we saw that we were surprised in seeing in exchange of money between these individuals. Again, it because this case is so important for the community. I would hate to say things, that might distract
Right.
jury, which they're not listening, right? They don't listen to us. But any I would hate to put any bumps in the road for the U.S. attorneys, So that's why I'm being a little hesitant to say everything that we saw and everything that we heard, because it was on video. It's not something that was made up. It was not hearsay. It was, you're watching these exchanges. You're watching these people talking. You're seeing conversations between individuals who are taking the money away from our kids. It's like Erasmo says, give back the money. And really, if you sit there, guys,
spill the beans, Carlos. Come on.
I think the community deserves the integrity of this court to make sure that justice is served. Yeah. And not only to Sylvia Atkinson, but every individual that colluded with her to steal the money from our kids and our staff. You don't think that the people at BISD right now are out there voting? You have more than 50% of the teachers voting in this election than ever before. That is huge. That is a huge number. And only why? Because they're tired of the BS that the Atkinson Powers family has brought to this district.
And now we need the other 50% to go and vote.
I agree.
And next week, Tuesday. We have to make a difference.
So that's why I'm refraining a little bit of telling everybody. But if you guys want to go tomorrow, it's open to the public.
Yeah.
9 a.m., guys. Just make sure you don't take a smartwatch. Don't take a phone. They don't let them in.
Yeah. And the capacity in the courtroom, they're saying what, 50 people max?
No, I don't even think it's that much, because it's a bench and there was 1, 2, 3, 4. About 2 to 3 per bench. So that's double that. 4, that's 8. I don't know, about 16 maybe. Yeah, maybe they'll add 3. So add another 8 more. 24 maybe.
Final words, Tim?
Well, We have to make a difference. And in order to make a difference, you have to go vote. Every vote counts. Stop being complacent. A lot of teachers out there, it's, oh, I'll go vote tomorrow. Always mañana. And I say that because I'm a retired teacher. I always did early voting because it was the easiest for me. But all you teachers that are out there, you need to go vote. And not only you, your spouse, your mama, your dad, your daddy, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, toda la familia, everybody, and more, your friends. And make sure you have your other co-workers and ask them, have you voted? If you haven't, you need to go vote. Vote. Vote.
Thank you, Tim. Carlos,
Hey
final
guys,
word?
I'm glad they give us the opportunity to come out here and talk a little bit about what's going on. But it is very important. Tim said it. It is very, very important. If you really do want change and you want your voice to come back, you must elect Carlos Elizondo, Erasmo, Frankie. I won't say Vito because I like Ms. Miller better, but no, I'm just kidding. You gotta elect a new board, guys. You must elect a new board if you want the change you deserve. I understand there's a lot of people out there that's throwing a lot of, even the dirty socks are being thrown at us. But guess what, guys? We're not standing down. We will continue to push forward. Please, if you can, get as many people to go out and vote. Make sure you go down your phone list and see who has voted. Go to AOBE, and I cannot exactly, I don't remember the link, but go to the AOBE website. They are putting out a list of all the teachers that have voted already, or all the people that voted in the BIZ election. And if you don't see your family's name on there, call them up, tell them to go vote. Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll give you another update tomorrow. Stay tuned. There's more information that needs to be put out, but because we want to make sure that the integrity of this case is taken care of, we are not going to say everything that we saw today. But guess what? It's open to the public, guys. Be there tomorrow, 9 a.m.
Frankie?
Thank you so much to Tim Ramirez and Carlos Elizondo for taking some time out and keeping our community informed. Again, this is a day that many people have been waiting for. People at Socorro, ISD, people at Los Fresnos, people at Rio Hondo, but more importantly for us, people here in the city of Brownsville at BISD. Just remember, this woman has done a lot of harm to a lot of people. She has used her position to enrich herself, to intimidate people, to cause fear in others. We promise our community that we will end retaliation. We together as a community will be able to come together and use this platform, this very platform, to keep everyone informed, to make sure that there's no more backroom dealings, to make sure that no board member takes money from our children. It's very important. I think the community is well aware of everything that's going on. They're just afraid to say so. That is why we have record numbers so far for this 2020 election, because we're ready. We're ready for change, guys.
Frankie, thank you. Guys, thank you for coming on tonight. We'll be on again tomorrow night at 9 with some more information of what's going on in this case. Y'all have a nice evening. Don't forget to vote, please. If you haven't, it's very important, and you're starting to find out how important it is and how much money our community has lost. So, fellas, we'll see y'all tomorrow, because I'm not that ugly.
Vito.
Yes.
Before we go, for what Carlos was saying on the AOBE website, go to my AOBE dot whatever it said before.com. Go to have your family and friends voted. Click on the link. Their endorsees are Carlos, Frankie, Erasmo, and Coach. But you have Vito and Marisol as well. Go out and vote. Make a difference. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.